Right, hi everyone. Today we're going to be having a look at a walkthrough for a solo expert with Insanity for ToA. A lot of people have been asking for this. I decided to make a walkthrough instead of a guide. This is not really a guide, but it will give you a bit of an understanding into how I do my runs and what kind of the current ceiling is for the meta on this is day 5 of ToA release. So we know a lot about the rooms now. This is a very particularly consistent setup. It's a very fun one. So what I'm going to be doing here is setting up my inventory with this tab. I will export it and put it into a paste bin if you want to use it. In my previous video, I covered bank tag layouts, which is what this currently is. So this setup gearing, this gearing setup is as follows. The entire top gets taken out and equipped. The middle one gets taken out. The bottom one below that also. And then this is my preset pre-pot inventory. I do not have Berserker Ring and I do not have a Torture. Otherwise I'm in max, and it is required if you want to do a 2-down Warden P2, which is really fun and very fun to execute. The invocations are as follows. Level 300 expert. Hardcore run, I am very comfy doing 1 life. Jog for it. You can also do run for it if you're really fast, or walk for it if you're a bit slower. But you need to add on some other stuff to make it happen. All this stuff is disabled, including walk the path. We're doing like hard warden and simple paths to keep things easy. Quiet prayer is good. Silent prayer is too much chip damage. On a die, it's fine. You don't bring in anglers and stuff anyway. Likely larvae blowing mud is okay. These ones not very good for solos in my opinion. Likewise with these for the rest of them. I'll just stay on this page for a second. Mind the Gap, not good for an insta-kill, not a fan of it. And bananas are not fun. They're very hard to see and just needless damage, so I don't like having bananas on either. The rest of this is all on, including Insanity, which is fun and very learnable. It takes a bit of time, but it is worth doing. So I strongly recommend trying it out if you haven't already. Now, of course, you need good gear and to be competent at most good PVM in order to do this. You can definitely do it with like 50 mil gear, maybe even like 10 mil gear at a push, but it will be rough. I would recommend 500 million GP in budget minimum for this. And this is like a max setup minus Masuri hat and Ancestral hat, which you could bring if you want to, and I can do it for speedruns, but I don't like doing it for my casual runs. I like having the excess brew and restore. This is a brew heavy setup. You can also drop 1 brew and take 1 restore if you want to, but this is my preference as I kind of just want to have a bit of more brew in case things go sour. So, we pre-pot. The inventory is very specifically laid out. It is so that you can swap into your melee or into your mage, into your range, and not lose any of your switches in position. So the glove slots, the necklace slots, body slots, cape slots are all in the same place. Your Avernic is the only thing that will really move around. For this run through, we're going to always do Baba into Zebak, into Akkha, into Kephri. Some players desire Croc or Kephri instead of Baba. They like to have Salt, which is the overload of the raid for Baba. I don't personally mind, so this is why I do this first. Also, the pre-pot anti-venom is nice here. I'm going to drop 3 potions, 1, 2, 3. Switch to my magic weapon and look for the first melee spawn in the room. It's over here. And then we're going to go over here. I'm going to move the Avernic over here. Just a bit of adjustment. Get to the first event with the first pillar and go. This first set is a ranger wave. We're then going to get a major wave. You can learn these, but they are not static spawns. The spawns will change over time. So, for example, I know there's a shaman on the next one, but I don't know where he spawns. I've marked them. Here he's over here. So I'm going to T-bow him. Move towards him. Blowpipe. T-bow's only good for the first hit. I'm on ancients, so I can do clumping. We're going to do it like this. Get the pillars. Next is a range wave. So my gear is now swapped. My mage gear is now at the bottom, but it's in the same order as you can see. This guy's an exploder. We're going to let him explode. Whoop. Didn't switch to my gear. There it is. So my gear is now in my inventory. Like it's swapped around, but it's in the same place like a 6-way. That's why this is so good. These guys, you can either freeze them if you know the wave spawns, or you can blowpipe them and be careful about doing so. I'm going to blowpipe this one. I do freeze some of them. I like the convenience of it. Careful how you get dragged. No need to pipe that guy. We're simply going to let them explode. This is a range wave. And I'll blow up this guy as well. You can use pipe specs in this room. I do recommend it. We're going to go straight for the shaman and kill the shaman. We're going to try and get these mages over here as well. Let this guy explode. That's fine. It's pillars right now, so what I'm going to do is get a T-bow out and click the shaman and go to the go to the pillar. I'm going to get my other gear on and just throw out a barrage here to clean the room. Blowpipe specking the shaman, and I'm burning a whole restore in this room, no problem. Let's move over here and try and clump. Checking my gear and fixing it. Nice big clump. And another one. Get this fence. Looking for a freeze here on some of these annoying ones. There should be 2 on this wave. The other one is here. Getting used to gear like this will take a moment, but that's okay. Safe spotted shamans will not spawn excess minions, so I can always safe spot them like this. And when I come round, it'll start spawning thralls like that. We're now going to focus, we're going to forget these melees and focus these shamans. This is the last wave with the multiple exploders. So we're just going to dodge the exploder. There might be one more wave, I'm not too sure. Dodge the exploder. And a bit of a blood barrage here to clean up. Move over here. There we go, room done. Gear got a little bit messed up at the end. One switch went out of place, that's fine. We're going to drop the hammer, drink brew, and move on. Getting close to 99 here is good. We're going to use up this remaining restore as we enter Baba. A sub 3 room is very good. I got 3 because I'm a noob. Sub 3 is very good, and that is also true for Baba. I'm going to burn the super combat with Preserve on for when the Divine actually runs out. And we're also going to use a Bastion pot. We're going to burn 2 or 3 doses of each of these in this room and save a couple for Croc as well. I do like the Fang specs here. In lower invocation, you might want to run Rapier, so like level 200 or below. Rapier is pretty nice, but I like it right now. These monkeys are going to get clicked. That monkey actually spawned on rubble, so he just died. Now, this big boulder, you can go to this thing for minimal damage, but you can also use a sarcophagus, or you can use one of those monkeys that just spawned for about 25-26 damage. Baba's a pretty chill room. We're going to be flicking our piety where possible, trying to conserve a little bit of prayer, and moving our way towards these boulders while keeping Baba fairly central. When it phases, we're going to go into our blowpipe, which is fairly soon. It's a bit like Satetseg at like 66% or so. So right now it's going to phase after one more hit. It's phased. We're going to get our prayers ready, and then we're going to go switch our full gear and run towards the weak boulder, which is center. Long range blowpipe, get ready to rush. And we're going to rush. Pre-pot's down. Gonna fix my blowpipe. I'm gonna use a couple more specs to get some damage on this boss. Big hit. This world is quite nice right now. I actually did a really nice run just before this, and I died to Warden because I T-bowed a freaking skull, so this is actually take 2. But hopefully this world is not going to do that to me. I think it's going to be fine. So we're going to get a nice run here. I'm live every day on Twitch, by the way. I've been live doing like 16, 18-hour streams. I'm currently rank 1 expert KC. So I think I know a thing or two. I don't have all the knowledge, but I have a good amount that I can help share. I'm going to try and get through as much of it in this video as possible. Long range for T-bow, blowpipe. Pathing up and running. Get that back in there. So far, I believe I've done the most solos out of anybody in expert, and again, rank 1 expert KC. It doesn't mean all too much, but it's nice to sort of know that I'm in the lead as far as like the actual amount of KC and everything. So I'm still Fang specking this. If Baba is below 20% when these final monkeys spawn, I want to push the boss for damage. If Baba is above 20%, I might kill the monkeys. You can also, if you want to, run really far south to drag the monkeys together, and then you can get a barrage on them or a freeze. That's Baba. So we had a 239 boss, which is very good. Anything below 3 is very good. Below the room, a total of sub 6 minutes for Baba is really nice. If I have 2 spaces, I switch to my full mage gear here. If I have 1 space, I switch to everything but my shadow. If you have a sang staff, you can of course switch to it because it's two-handed, sorry. But this room, there's some really interesting stuff you can do. We're going to run straight to this water container and then run down the north path, trying to dodge the green. If you can do. Doesn't matter if you don't. I'm going to run all the way there, and we're going to stand on these tiles. I will also export these croc tiles in the paste bin in the description of the video if you want them. The way this works is if you stand on one of these tiles, like this, and then you go straight down and you do it correctly, you won't take damage. The croc has spawned. So I'm going to go straight to the croc. I'm going to freeze him. Don't you dare touch my tree. Dirty, dirty croc. Do this tick perfect and you can get a really, really fast... Did he get a nibble? No, he didn't get a nibble. If you do it correctly, it's about a 34-second rune. And it's very, very fast. You don't have to freeze the croc if you do it tick perfect, but I didn't quite do it well there. I'm going to use up the remainder of my normal potions at this pass. Optionally, if you brought the BGS, you can use it to spec Zebak. You're looking for about a 30 to a 35 in terms of defense reduction on your BGS for every given room that you use it in. No boulders here means it's a wave. We're going to be lazy flicking. Oh, missed a flick. We're going to be lazy flicking our prayers throughout the entire fight here. Waves and Big Roar will cycle. If you see blood attack on his wrists, you have to pray mage. Oh, well, you don't have to, but it'll help. Blood piping this is nice to save some ticks. Additionally, if you aim it correctly, you can also push it into a boulder and it will break around the boulder. This set of invocations does not have loud, croc is loud. This set of invocations has the widespread, so it's really nice and chill. I'm going to burn my remaining pots here. He's now in enrage mode, so we're going to claw. Flinching this means you can't be hit. That's the blood attack. Wait for it. There it is. Four was good. And moving on. I can now drop my remaining potions to make space, and I'm going to take out this always the power one from both times I get to the helpful spirit. You can hold down shift, by the way, and right click the NPC to change the shift and the swap for the regular to make it so you can proceed on Osmondton, which is really nice. The path of Het is very interesting. There's some stuff you can do here if you are low mining to make things better. Specking is one thing if you have a dragon pickaxe. The other one is an arrive delay thing, which is just a bit of technical gargled term, basically saying that you can get a quicker attack with your pickaxe in to speed up the room, if you are careful about how you do it. By going and intersecting this angle, by stepping in on it, I can get the mirror placed correctly. You can also use a right-hand rule to do so. Looks like I'm going to have to mine this bit here to make it work. So for example, a right-hand rule dictates the mirror will face to my right hand. If I step in on this angle, like so, it'll face to the right, like that. This is always true. Going around the side, the arrive delay thing, you have to mark these tiles. It's one run away, one like walk run away, one run thing away. I'm being silly. This mirror is also in the wrong place. I messed up. It's going to go push it one. Okay. I want to be on that tile very quickly. So we're going to wait for a second here. This means you do not have to pickaxe spec if you do it correctly. Control it. We're going to react to the light. React to the light? Did I? Okay. You know what? I'm really trolling. Trying to showcase some stuff and we're making errors. Pushing it. I'm going to stand here and react to the light. I did mess it up. I'm not sure if it was my timing or if it was server latency today. It is a Sunday, so it can be a bit weird. This is not going to be a one down. If you want to guarantee the one down, you can simply stand next to the obelisk and special attack, and there will never be a problem, as long as you're 99 mining and have a dragon pickaxe. But I'm a big noob and I messed it up. I will put a link in the description to a video to showcase the correct timing. I will also do it again here and it should be fine. But no promises, because again, I'm big bad, and I think servers are kind of dying on Sunday. It's 5 days after release for what it's worth. So the right-hand rule dictates if I stand facing it, it'll turn to my right here. So if I stand here, it'll face to the right. Going to react to the light, like so. This is now the correct timing, and you can see my pickaxe actually attacks a bit earlier. It's a bit of a weird interaction, but it will guarantee a 1 down and with 99 mining without a pickaxe spec. It's worth trying to do. It is consistent. I'm just bad. That's all it is. So here we're going to keep we're going to kite across the room. We're going to use 1 salt, and we're going to check our supplies. I have another one, so if I want to repot with it, I can do. If you didn't get 2 salts, you cannot repot. And we're going to kite Akkha. Praying melee, optionally. If you have a Sang staff, I recommend not doing this because Sang isn't great DPS. And the more he attacks, the more likely he is to switch attack styles. If my DPS is good, I'm going to get ready for this northeast shadow. DPS should be good about here, so I'm going to get ready for it. Here it is. And we're going to be using blowpipe on every single one of these shadows. If you're low HP, you can also blowpipe spec to get some HP like so. Blood barrage does not work on these, but blowpipe spec for some reason does. And the entire room is going to be done with Fang on Akkha, and also blowpipe on Akkha. In this invocation difficulty, it's 4 attacks in the center, fast, and it is only left or right based on the last symbol. You can make this room a bit better in solos by flicking things like ToA, if you're on tick with it. I'm a bit low on brew here, so I'm gonna blowpipe spec. As you can see, you can attack from the middle here from all 4 center tiles if you wish to. It is useful, it is beneficial if you can do it. The timing can be a bit awkward, but it's worth learning. You can also attack with other weapons like a Sang staff. I'm gonna brew here, not looking too short. As long as I have 1 restore remaining at the end of this room, it is enough. If you move 2 tiles during this black stuff, you'll never get hit. You have a 1-tick window to run over these as well, even if you're standing on it. Again, blowpipe specking here could be wise for HP. I think I will do this time around. I don't normally, but I'm just going to showcase that it is possible. Get some good heals from it. In the middle right now is a great time to brew. Not sure if this is correct. It is, okay. Need to pay a little bit more attention myself. I'm just trying to stay high HP for the final phase here. We want to reserve at least 1 claw spec, preferably. Yeah, supplies are looking very nice. Fang is definitely very, very, very good on Akkha. I would not recommend scything personally. Others have said it's okay. I don't think so. I actually don't know why I have a scythe in my inventory. This is not my standard setup that I use. It's not that useful. It just kind of exists. I think I took out the wrong stuff. I do not recommend scythe currently for expert mode solos. It's just going to sit in my inventory. I'll do a scythe for fun. Does it hit? No. Also it changed prayers, so not a good indicator, but yeah. But I definitely made a mistake bringing that. I did not mean to. Using that time in the center to brew up once again. And now it should be a nice clean finish. The final phase is a bit interesting. What we're going to be doing is 2 fangs into a claw, and then 2 fangs into a claw. In solos, you can get 3 hits on the boss, but the 4 from the claw will go through. So by doing 2 fangs, you maintain the boss in the same position, and then it makes life a bit easier for you. So we're looking to do Praying Mage's will reduce the damage from the orbs, but Redemption is obviously a safe bet. You can right-click Akkha to path towards it correctly. We're just going to be dodging these orbs as best we can, playing it nice and slow. 2 fangs into a claw, and then going to the next one. 2 fangs, trying to dodge a little bit here. Whoa. 2 fangs. If you have a claw here, you can use it. I'm going to do another fang, and then I'm going to do the claw in the next one. So 2 fangs. Dodging as much as I can do here. Oh, not great there from me. 2 fangs. Dodge that one, and a claw to finish, hopefully. Lovely. You definitely can learn to dodge this if you want to play slowly. The biggest danger is really being dragged into Akkha at the end of it without paying attention. Right, Kephri now. A preferable time to get to final boss is 20 minutes, 25 if you are very slow, otherwise it's okay. The preferable puzzles here is the preferable puzzle is this counting one, and the least preferable is the pillar. Because we can alternate here, we're going to do this one first. This is fantastic. This is on the correct row. And the cheat code for this puzzle in particular is the front row equals 31. This is my 15 here, and this is my 9, so this is done. Oh, sorry. 15, 15, 9, 14, I needed 2. I'm bad at counting. You can learn this, there's a thing on the outside of the wall, there's some posts around with luck, but yeah. Maths is not a mechanic, and I'm bad at it. Right. Memory game. I'm gonna hover mouse over the correct one to start with. Arrange for the scarab. Jump. A lot of people don't know you can bypass these, but you can. My method is a bit weird. I'm just going to do this, and you can see how I do it. So I'm going to call based on reading, like a top left to bottom right. So I call this a circle, but it's a diamond. So circle, star, knife, W, foot. Circle, star, knife, W, foot. Okay, so there was a star there. Circle, star, knife, W, foot, which means that's a circle. And I opened a star, so I know it's the second one here is a star. Circle, stife, nar, W, foot. Circle, circle, knife, star, W, foot. W here and a knife here. We want to open 2 on each side. Circle, star, knife, which is here. And I believe I opened a W over this side, which means this is a foot, like so. And that way you can do the minimal amount of checks per side and maintain it. I believe this is the best in slot method of doing this in solos. You can get the room down to just over a minute. I don't know if you can get under a minute. I think it's possible to get under a minute, but it is rare. We're going to open with a Fang spec. For teams, I like the DD on this tile here for Dung, which is after around about 3 attacks from Kephri. For solos, I prefer to DD on this tile where I am right now. The reason is to stack Dung in a more convenient manner. So, we're chilling. We're going to click the boss immediately. We're going to come out on this side. And the idea here is we're going to save a Fang spec and a Claw spec for the first NPC that spawns, which is going to be in the northeast corner. My room's getting a bit bright. I'm sorry if I'm looking like I'm in the middle of the sun. This room is very low prayer usage. It's very chill. Very few times you take damage. 1 full brew here is nice. These guys out on the room means you will have to pray range shortly. And the NPC that spawns means I will also have to, so range pray it is. We're going to Fang spec into a Claw spec here. I have another Fang spec, so I'm just going to use it. See if I kill it. Oh, didn't see it second time. And then we're going to clean the room. I'm just going to kill it. I don't mind Kephri being a bit higher HP, we're chilling. Not a speedrun, so... Full Masuri on isn't really necessary, I just like doing the switches. And we're going to clean as much of the room as possible. You're not going to get it all, but that's okay. We're just going to get as much as we can do. Flow piping is good here. Kephri can overheal, so even this looks like it's quite full, but it's actually going to go a lot higher if you don't clean the room. And we're going to come back to here for our position on Dung. With this set of invocations, we're going to get another spawn up here with a melee. And we're going to get a major spawn, but we're not going to get a ranger anymore. Dung is spawning, so we're going to stand back on this tile. It's going to push us in, and we can click Kephri immediately. Layering the Dung like this is really convenient. It's very nice. We're going to use a method to trap the melee. Alternatively, if you're high HP and these guys aren't in the room, you can simply pray melee. But with these guys in the room, I like to trap it. Speedrun-wise, you can just click boss. Clicking piety here should be fairly simple. We're looking to get a claw on the major, followed by a T-bow to phase it. We want to phase as much as possible. I'm going to get into claw immediately. Going to get this guy. Another fang maybe, and then I'm going to get T-bow. I'm just going to T-bow. This is the melee hitting me, which is fine. Really just want to get this major dead. Okay, now we're going to clean the room. This guy on me doesn't do too much damage. If you notice he is, you can always barrage him. And because I'm 55 HP, I'm not crazy high HP. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little execution strategy to simply freeze him. I'm going to bring him around this side over to the dung area. I'm going to freeze in here. And dung will appear fairly soon. Melee can no longer hit me. I'm going to run away from him. If you want to brew at this point, feel free. Dung is going to occur soon. Here it is. And now I'm going to trap the melee. Melee is now trapped away from me. I don't have to worry about him anymore. This room is now straightforward. I suggest reserving a Fang spec right now if you can do for the shield phase. When we get it to the final phase, we can use a Claw spec to push it even further. But as you can see, the melee is no longer an issue. Also, you can just choose to kill it. It's really up to you. It does heal the boss, but it's very minor. We're going to stack dung over here, try and leave myself a bit more space. If you see the indicator around you, which is like the flies, that's how you know you're going to get dunged. In parties, I believe it's all border-based. Not the best hits, but that's okay. Any supplies that the remainder of this room is really nice. My special attack is going up, so I'm going to get a Fang spec now. Big Fang spec, very nice. I don't believe Karis Partisan is worth it in solos, but you could also replace Scythe with a Karis, and it would be okay. As soon as we phase it into final, we're going to get spec'd immediately with dung, so be aware. Here we go. As long as I leave myself enough space, we'll be fine. And now I'm going to claw, because the shield is gone. I think it has less defense. Not a good claw, unlucky. It still has high slash defense, but the base defense is lower, so claws are more effective than Fang at that point in time. I'm looking for another Fang spec when I get it, but the room should be pretty much done. Another dung special, gonna layer it next to this one. Fang spec, go brr. Very nice, big hit. And the room should be over. Not the cleanest Kephri, but hopefully it's a good idea of like what you can do and what's available to you. Preferably, this is like a minute slower than my normals. Just a bit of RNG. We're going to go again for the power over here. Power is always really nice. Pot this remaining salt. I think I should have potted that salt earlier. I could have done. And I'm going to leave myself 1 or 2 salts, but not really much more. 3 ambrosia is incredibly safe. 2 is fine, and 2 is a min roll. We have a bit of excess here, which is really nice. I'm going to leave myself a slot free. And I'm going to show you some really cool stuff for P2 Warden. So we start this fight by being in a BGS. We're going to get a guaranteed BGS, 2 specs maximum usage, either BGS or Claw, with Blue Potion. I hit a 0, so I'm going to go again. I hit a 0. Unfortunate, but it doesn't really matter. We're going to use our Shadow of Tumikon here. And we're going to tank until we are about 75 HP, which is now. You do not want to be close to 80 HP, you want to be middling here. This will offset the attacks. We're going to use a full Ambrosia dose to get to full HP. Now the method at P2 is 6 DDS into a BGS whack, followed by a Claw Stretch into 5 DDS into a BGS whack. In order to do this correctly, you have to wait a little bit after the second phase. This is to give your spec time to regenerate. I'm going to Ambrosia very shortly, letting my prayer drain a bit more. This is fairly bad DPS. I say fairly bad, this is very bad DPS. But no worries. Ambrosiaing here. Done correctly, this fight is very minimal DPS, DP damage taken. If I could hit, that'd be really nice. I don't normally, it's usually done by this point in time, especially if BGS hits. So this is very unlucky. I'm gonna have to brew here. And I'll use another Ambrosia dose to start the fight. Ambrosia dose here. We want to keep our DDS close to the middle of our inventory, so we're going to prep it. You must have blue potions reserved for this to work. We're going to take melees where possible. They are preferable. We have windmill. Just have to be aware. Never stand in the middle channel. You can get lightninged if you're uncareful or unprepared. We must prepare with our blue potion, get DDS ready. This is a tick-perfect strategy. You can't afford to miss any. So that's 1 attack. 3. 4. 5. 6 into a BGS whack. We're going to switch to claws, go into our shadow, and start attacking boss. We're going to move our inventory down a bit. So the claws are in the middle, but easier for me to switch with. Checking our stats and everything. I'm going to salt up here. And what I have to do is I have to watch my special. So I can't actually hit the boss right now. I have to wait. This is worth doing. I've got to wait until my special attack is closer to 50 before I can go. This is fine. Now I can go. A little bit of waiting is well worth it. We're going to get 1 claw stretch into DDS. Blue potion again. 2. 3. There's the spec. 4. 5. 6 into the BGS whack. We'll take it down. Take perfect strat. Very, very cool. We're going to now prep our inventory once again, moving things down. A couple of Brewdoses here is very useful. Moving to the left. It always starts on the right, but if you have the Insanity modifier on, after it does the skull attack, the red skull attack, it may be different. You have to pay attention. If the last attack was on the left, it will be on the left. If the last attack was on the right, it'll be middle. If the last attack was middle, it'll be on the right. So left is left, and right and middle are switched. You can do takeoffs if you wish to. I have excess blue potion, so what I'm going to do is try and guarantee a BGS spec. It's okay, it's not very high, but it's something. And now I'm going to get my claws prepared. A lot of this fight, especially P2, if you want to do that strategy, is about being prepared for it. We're going to be burning ambrosias left and right, so I can use this last potion here for a bit of prayer excess. This adrenaline is for the final phase. By taking out the west side tanking and fighting Elidnus' Warden instead of Tumakan's Warden, we have Akkha appearing. Servers are very bad right now with a Sunday, so I'm praying I don't mess up to the orbs again, because it can be very, very, very punishing in a solo. Okay, so we're staying at the back here because it gives us a bit more tick time to react. The closer you are to the front, the less time you have. I think it's just a 1-tick window, but it helps a lot if you're reacting. You can also count, but I preferably don't enjoy doing this. Nice orbs. There are 4 phases of this. On the third phase, on the second phase, we get Akkha. On the third phase, we get Kephri. Staying at the back, it's middle. That big slam is middle. The left and the right is pretty obvious as well. Got to look for it. Akkha switches every 3 attacks. You can also count them or watch him slam the ground. It's up to you. I prefer Akkha to Zebak, and the way the first fight, the P2 of Wardens is a little bit different as well. Okay, Kephri is up. Try not to get hit by the orbs. Akkha is now going to hit me with the other style, so I've got to be aware. Might take a bit of damage, that's fine. I have loads of ambrosia. Going to stand at the back and watch out. Very nice. I might burn an ambrosia just to stay safe. There's the Akkha slam on the left. That's his major attack now. He's going to do 3 of them. You can count them if you want to. I like to react to it, it's a bit better. Gonna just ambrosia here, got plenty of it. Playing safe is important. There's the slam. Let's range pray. Made a mistake there somewhere. I'll just see what's going on with Akkha. I think we're fine. I think I moved early. I moved early. Oh no, I didn't know. I'm going to just delay my attack by a tick to get into a better cycle. Akkha slammed the ground. So you see the Warden attacked on the right there just now. Which means it's going to be in the center. If you're not doing, see, center attack now. Akkha slam. If you're doing non-insanity, it would be always on the right-hand side. It's one of the big differences. We're in finals, so I drink my blue potion, watch the Akkha, and I get all my claws off. This is now just down to dodging. React to Akkha, he switches and attacks a lot faster. We get 4 claws off with blue. Reacting to Akkha. Getting into my gear. Maybe we use an Ambrosia dose. Playing really safe. I like takeoffs so you don't have to do them. Akkha. Gonna use Ambrosia. Got plenty of it. Akkha slam. Come on, Zebak. Looking pretty comfy. This phase is arguably easier. Akkha slam. And there we go. So hopefully that was a general base covering of some of the cool methods and how I do my solos. This is, again, quite a top-level thing. If you want to bring it down a notch and remove some switches and just play it a bit safer, that's perfectly fine. You'll still get some really good times, and hopefully it'll be quite comfy farming. No solo purple as of yet. Does it change? No. Solos are quite rare to find items, so teams are definitely better, but solos are fun and farmable for sure. Any good loot? What about a partisan piece? I still need some. Ever lucky. Alright, there we are. So I'm on 53 KC currently, around about 30 of that is solos. So hopefully, again, this was a pretty interesting insight into how I'm doing them. If you want to see me live on Twitch, I'm live every single day. I'm going to be live as soon as this video goes up. Probably doing some of these and some teams with some of the big boys. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on the stream.